Hi there, this is Mr. Evans. This is a video on budgets. Just in moving now into this section on analysing financial performance. There's quite a lot in here, and it kind of jumps about a bit. So I will do my best to get a video out on each of these different topics. First one is budgets, and I'm just going to introduce them here, and we'll look at how to construct and analyse them in the next video. So a budget is really simple. A budget is a monetary target set to enable a business to achieve their corporate objectives. So just like you might set yourself a budget for your weekly or your monthly spending, or how much you intend to earn at work, businesses will set a target. The key thing is they need to always have their corporate objective in mind. What are we trying to achieve as a business? How is setting this budget going to help us achieve that objective? Okay, if we've set a target of cost minimisation, then obviously we're going to be looking to reduce our costs, perhaps compared to what they were last year. So a budget could be based on expenditure, it could be based on income, and it could be based on profit. So we'll have a bit more of a look at them on this slide. So an income budget is a monetary target for the revenues to be received in a given period of time. I suppose the business could also set a budget for achieving a bank loan, but most commonly income budgets are about revenues, sales revenue, money earned from sales. So the income budget should be used to set sales targets for the entire company, maybe departments or teams within the company, and individuals. So it's very clear that first of all, this is how much income we want to raise from sales as a company. Right, this department is responsible for earning this much, and within that, each individual has got a certain amount of money they're supposed to be raising. So everyone can see how they're contributing towards achieving the company target and therefore the company's corporate objectives. These will usually be informed by past data, if there is some, seasonality, and market research. Market research obviously particularly important for an entrepreneur just starting up. The information in the income budget would probably be used to help generate the cash flow forecast. Look, what months are we looking to sell most in? If we've got a seasonal product, how many are we going to sell in December versus how many are we going to sell in June, and how are we going to manage that discrepancy in income as it comes in. An expenditure budget is a monetary target for all costs to be spent in a given period of time. These can be helpful because they set clear expenditure targets for different cost centres within the business. So that might be a cost centre, might be, for example, a particular branch, a particular department like marketing, or a particular geographical area. Either way, a clear expenditure budget should allow the management and the teams within those different divisions to know how much money they've got to spend within that time period. This could be informed by past data, predicted sales, investment requirements of that particular department, etc. And again, we probably use the information in here to generate our cash flow forecast. So, when are we going to be spending this money? A profit budget is really important to know that the profit budget, it can be calculated quite simply. It's simply the income budget, how much we're going to earn from revenue, minus the expenditure budget, how much is it going to cost us to earn that revenue, and that should give us our profit budget, which is a target set for the surplus revenue to be earned over expenditure in a given period of time. And it can be used as part of a business plan to secure investment. Okay, so if we are showing off a business plan to a bank or a potential group of shareholders or whatever, they'll probably want to know what we're budgeting for our profit, and this will explain that to you. So there is a process for setting budgets. First of all, we want to set the corporate objectives. What are we trying to achieve with this budget? and how is this budget contributing to our overall objective. We then carry out some market research, calculate the income and expenditure budget. Once we've got these, we can calculate our profit budget. So if we know how much we're going to get in and how much we're targeting on spending, then we should be able to estimate what our profit budget is. We can then set targets for different departments, different people, make them responsible for earning that revenue or spending that money. And then we'd review our budgets against our objectives, and the cycle starts again. The review stage really important. You know, an opportunity to say, well, was this budget set accurately? What do we need to do in the future to improve that next time? So, why do businesses set budgets? It provides clear companies for the it provides clear targets for the company, for teams within that company, and for individuals within those teams. So the budget can be broken down, so everyone's responsible for earning a certain amount of revenue, spending a certain amount, and that would contribute towards the company achieving its target. This can be quite motivational for staff. If you've got a really clear target that you're working towards, say a sales target, you know, that might help motivate staff as long as it's a realistic target and they feel that it's possible to meet. It allows the purchasing decision to be made by the experts in that area. So the example I give of this is if you think about your business department in school or your economics department or whatever, your head teacher, you know, may not have, there may be a maths teacher or a PE specialist or something like that. It's unlikely that they're going to have the specialist information about what textbooks need to be bought, how many rulers, how much graph paper is the department going to need. So by setting a clear target for the business department, the head of business, who's presumably experienced and is aware of what the best books are, what the equipment needed will be, can then spend that budget on the most effective things for them to achieve their objectives. Again, that contributes towards budgets being motivational. If staff feel empowered to make the decisions about how they can best do their job and meet their targets, that's likely to be quite motivational. It enhances the credibility of a business plan if we've got a clear budget. So it's going to help us gain investment. You know, investors, shareholders, bankers, etc. are going to have a look at a business plan, and if there's no budget in there, it's going to look like a pretty Mickey Mouse operation, and you're unlikely to get the investment that you want. Finally, and we'll go on to this in the next video, it allows us to review performance through variance analysis and see if those budgets had been adhered to or not. And that should help make the future process of setting budgets easier as well. So what are the difficulties in setting budgets? Well, we're reliant on accurate data, i.e. accurate market research and sales data. You know, sometimes it can be accurate and sometimes not. It's reliant on the skills, particularly for new businesses, of an entrepreneur, right? If this person's starting a business, have they got the skills to create a budget? Have they got any experience of it? There can be unforeseen changes in the external environment. You know, changes in costs are quite common. You know, the value of the pound has deteriorated by about 20% since the vote to leave the EU, since the Brexit vote. You know, if you're importing raw materials, that will have had a real impact on your costs, which might have been difficult to predict. The actions of competitors will make it difficult for you to, you know, could make it difficult for you to set an accurate sales budget, for example, or a revenue budget. And finally, you know, it can be time consuming and expensive to conduct the market research, pay people to create the budget, and that creates an opportunity cost in terms of time. You know, we spend all this time creating this budget. Would it have been better spent focusing on marketing the business, increasing our sales, or you know, managing our staff, etc. So brief overview there of budgets. In the next video we'll look at variance analysis.